Hi, welcome to another episode of Habits for Humans, the podcast that explores what makes people tick and how to program this brain of ours through habits. We are going to explore some reasons why sometimes in some areas of our lives we can just really rock it and just excel, while in other areas and at other times in our lives we can struggle and flounder a bit. If we want to be healthy and happy, what is the secret to programming our brain to maximize our potential? I'm Pamela Henry, your host today, and I'm excited to interview our guest, Jeanne Gomm. And she is a master artist, and she's going to talk today a little bit about some ways that creativity can help, how creativity contributes to productivity, and some other benefits of creative outlets and creativity.
Oh, hi, Pamela.
Hi. We are going to have a couple of giveaways. Let me just, actually, I'm just going to start over. So I can just do another clap and start over. So I'm going to do another clap and start over. So, yeah, I kind of paused there because my mouse wasn't in the right place to scroll down to my next thing. So I was making a little gap there, making it seem like it was time to already talk to you. So,
Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, here we are. Hi, welcome to for Humans, the podcast that explores what makes people tick and how to program this brain of ours through habits. We're going to explore why, and in some areas of our lives, we can really rock it and excel, while in other areas, we can struggle and flounder a bit. If we want to be healthy and happy, what is the secret to programming our brain to maximize our potential? I'm Pamela Henry, your host, and today I'm excited to be interviewing our guest, Jeanne Gomm. Jeanne is a master artist, and she's going to be talking today about some ways that creativity contributes to our productivity and other benefits of having a creative outlet in helping us to be more productive and happy and confident. We have several giveaways for our listeners at the end, so if you like free stuff, make sure you stick around. But first, a word from our sponsors. This episode of Habits for Humans is brought to you by Card Salad. Card Salad is an Eat Well program. It's kind of like HelloFresh meets Oprah. Get a free week of meal planning done for you at the end of this podcast. And it's also brought to you by The Success Choice, a company that provides the tools to help you filter through the noise of life to establish a life of balance, order, and joy, and to find joy in the journey. Stay tuned for a special discount. So I'd like to introduce our guest, Jeanne Gomm. She builds custom stained glass windows for homes, businesses, and public spaces. She loves to share her art with others through teaching in her studio, YouTube videos, gallery showings, online courses, and designing for personal spaces. Getting to know people who share the fun of creativity is one of her favorite things. All right, so Jeanne, I'm excited to have you on, and we usually start our episode by having our guests talk about one way that they like to start probably their number one habit to help them manage their stress or their mental wellness. What's a practice that helps you to manage your stress of your daily life?
Well, first of all, thanks for saying that I was a master artist. That made me feel good.
You are.
I like to start the day with a schedule, kind of a routine. And that helps me throughout the day. I like to focus in on something spiritual or uplifting or inspiring. And that helps me to get in the right frame of mind. And then I like to, just go through my planner, my success choice planner, and that helps me to think, okay, what have I got to do today? But actually, that started last night, the night before. I kind of get my plan ahead. So, well, for one thing, so I know what time I'm supposed to be up and at 'em. And but that just kind of helps me. And then throughout the day, I take time to do a little bit of movement. I find that sometimes as I'm working on a window or a design, I can get so into the zone, I forget to eat, I forget to what's happening around me. And so I have to remind myself. I used to have a little a ding on my phone that would remind me about once an hour just to get up and move, but I erased that somehow. But now, yeah, when I think about it, I think, okay, so I better get up, get a drink of water, and maybe, walk around the house, or, go outside and walk around the block if I, feel like that will help. But then I am more engaged when I come back and get busy. And sometimes even more ideas can come to me just being away from the project for a minute. And so, yeah, those are a few things.
That's a great point. I really loved how you talked about, you know, looking at your schedule, seeing what you have going and everything. I think that creates a lot of peace, so that instead of like always trying to wonder what you're forgetting or what's slipping through the cracks, you've got a handle on that. And then also getting in that self care, because if you don't fill that bucket, if you don't do that self care, you truly are less productive. You get tired easier. You don't have that mental focus. And I liked your thought of stepping away for a bit and then coming back stronger. Just giving yourself that little mental break so that you can come back stronger.
Yeah,
I
and
love that.
sometimes even a physical break, just kind of jump up and down or something for a minute.
Exactly. Yeah. And or getting outside just for a little bit, walking around the block or around your house, even, just to
Uh-huh.
get that little bit of sunshine, that little bit of energy, that little bit of fresh air kind of helps to help you regroup.
Mhm.
So Jeannie, tell me how you got started in your. So Jeannie has a stained glass business that is super successful. She does a lot of work in the community as well as for individuals. Tell me how you got started in this particular business.
Oh, sure. Well, it's funny. The business that we had started was a video rental. So nothing to do with stained glass. But we were in Missouri at the time and doing some video rental and stuff. And we had a huge building. And so we thought, David had taken a little class in stained glass. And so we thought, well, let's just kind of play around with stained glass over here. And people started coming in and going, what are you doing? And so we would, show them, and some people would say, I would like to have one of those, or could you teach me how to do that? And so that just kind of got us going. And each of us had another job all the time. First of all, my job was raising our 7 children, and he always had work. So the stained glass and the video store and stuff was just kind of fun. So then we moved here, and that was about 20 years ago. And same kind of thing, even though we had other jobs, more and more people were interested in what we were doing. And so it kind of just, took off by itself because of our passion for the art. And so then about 5 years ago, David had some heart problems. He had a triple bypass and wasn't able to do a lot of what he was doing before. And I was always helping during that time. But at that point, I thought, okay, either I have to get another job and forget stained glass as maybe a hobby, or I have to really focus and make this a number one priority if I want this business to support our family. So after much prayer and deliberation, the words that came to me were, you've got to be all in. And so I thought, okay, I can do this. I can be all in. And so I really focused in on the business. And what is so amazing is since that time, we've always been able to pay the bills. We've always had orders. I've always had students. And it's like the universe just kind of opens up when you make the decision and say, I'm all in.
I love that. And that's a mindset shift that, a lot of times people have creative businesses for a hobby, and that's totally fine.
Sure.
Creative businesses are a fun hobby and a fun little side business, but to support a family and to have your business pay your bills, I think there does need to be that mindset shift, that mind shift of going all in. And I actually have known Jeannie for several years, and I remember seeing that mindset shift and the
Yeah,
difference
you
that
know
that
me.
made. Yeah, that made a big difference. And she really got organized. She really got structured and was applying for events or for her art to be in different community locations and different things, and was really proactive in seeking out things to grow her business. She wasn't at all passive, waiting for it to come to her. She was very proactive in going out and getting that business, and being very consistent on her YouTube channel and her different other media outlets, just really being consistent and growing that business consistently.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I have found, and this is something I never would have suspected, but I have found that stained glass is also a therapy. And, I just thought, oh, it's a beautiful art and it's been around for hundreds of years and, there are lots of positive things about it. But I never realized that stained glass was a therapy. It's a thing. And I only found that out because of students who have come and told me how beneficial it has been to their lives. And as an example, during the worst part of COVID, I most of my students said, well, I'm going to wait, kind of things, wait till things settle down. But I had a few new students and I was curious. I said, well, why now? Why stained glass? Why are you doing this when kind of the world is a little crazy? And they said, what I found out was all of the new people who were coming were all in the medical profession. It was amazing. And I said, wow, this is really cool. They said, without a doubt, all of them said, I have had so much stress at work. I've been around sickness, death, the dying, families who couldn't see their loved ones, just really difficult things that they have to deal with in their work. So they found stained glass to be a real therapy. And it was an outlet. And so that has been just really a fun thing to find out. And since then, I kind of, ask questions. It's fun to know why people come and what moves them to want to do stained glass. So many of them also said, it's always been on my bucket list. Well, that makes me happy. And so they come for emotional reasons, for the beauty of stained glass, and some just because they need an architectural, thing for privacy, and that's good too. But yeah, the emotional therapy part of it, I never would have known.
I think that's really interesting. I find that for me, when I am extra stressed or overwhelmed, I like to have a creative outlet. And, stained glass is an amazing creative outlet. There are other creative outlets. For a while I made quilts, and, there were a couple things it did for me. Is one, it helped me to be creative, and it helped me to step away from my problems for a little while and do something creative. And it also created a finished product. And so, I know that Jeannie's really great about posting on her social media people in her classes with their finished product. And there's just always this big smile on their face, like, I made this, I did this, this is like a new skill set, just, something out of their everyday normal routine and skill set that they accomplished. And there's just that big smile. And I think that is therapeutic to have the creative outlet, to just get that, use that other part of your brain for a while and create something beautiful. And
Mm.
then learning the skill and then having a finished product, which is
Yeah. Oh,
awesome.
you should see the latest one that I posted this morning. This guy is holding his window up above his head, and this, the light is coming through the colors of the glass, and you can just tell, like you were saying, you can tell the joy on their faces. Are saying, "Ah, I made this, and it's beautiful." And people will come in sometimes and they'll say, "I am not creative. I can't draw. I can't, so good luck trying to teach me." But the fun part of it is so much of it is technical. It's, once you have the design, and I help a lot with the design, then it's just kind of, cutting and foiling and soldering. And so it's more technical things. And I haven't had a student yet who couldn't do it. Oh, here's a fun story. So this was a long time ago, but we actually had an East Indian princess come take a class. And yeah, her Lakshmi, I think was her name. And it was, she was just this beautiful girl, but you could tell she never had done anything. I don't think the girl ever peeled a carrot because she didn't need to. She had servants for that. But she really wanted to learn how to do this. So I think that was probably the most difficult because we had to teach her, "Oh, Lakshmi, push a little harder, maybe a little harder than that," and stuff. And so, but by the time she was at the end of her window, same kind of thing. She was so happy to have accomplished something all by herself. And going to cry about it. But it was just really a wonderful thing. And I have had other people who think, my mom signed me up for this, but I don't know if I can do it. They can do it, and it feels so good.
Yeah, that's great. And I think the physical act of using your hands is therapeutic. I think that
Yeah.
kind of gets us out of our head a little bit. Sometimes we can be rehearsing our problems or our stresses, or like with these medical professionals, just so much emotional, uh, as well as the physical exhaustion, just the emotional exhaustion. But somehow using your hands, in some kind of a craftsman type thing is very therapeutic, I think.
Or even getting out in the garden and just getting in the dirt.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, I find that. And getting into a flow kind of state where you're, just being in that creative and challenging yourself just a little bit to learn something new, but then, just really getting absorbed in the project is
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I was doing a project with a friend of mine, and we were both just really focusing, but she had gone off and get herself a drink, and she came back with a drink of water, and she says, "Jeannie, would you like a drink of water?" And I didn't even hear her. I mean, I was so focused, I didn't hear. And then when the class was over, she said, "At first I thought you were being rude to me." And then I realized, oh, she's in the zone. And so that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's a fun place to be. I like when I get out and work in my yard, that will happen to me a lot. I'll go out thinking I'm just going to spend a few minutes, and all of a sudden my stomach's growling. I'm like, why is my stomach growling? And it's
I
been 5 hours.
I know.
So
Uh,
tell me, so you have this business and you went all in. So tell me a little bit about some of your routines that have helped you to be more productive. Maybe even a morning routine, an evening routine. You did talk a little bit about checking your calendar at night and the morning before, but just kind of balancing work and family and home and all of that. How do you fit it all in?
you know, I sometimes I think there's no such thing as balance. I
Mm-hmm.
think that sometimes you are paying a whole lot of attention to family. My daughter is due to have a baby in a few weeks. That's going to be my focus. And maybe I'll have to cancel a class or two. And so you focus in on what's important at the time. And so your balance kind of sways. It's not always, the the scales. they're not even. And so, yeah, so sometimes family is going to take precedent. And so you're going to have to, take time for those who are sick or who need you or you need a family vacation. Those things might be utmost in your balancing act. And then other times, like I have had a window that I've got a deadline and I've got to do this. And so other things, hey, you better go get a frozen pizza because I don't have time to make dinner right now. And so that kind of happens too. So our balance is so fleeting, but as long as this is funny. I used to do this, and once in a while I still will because it works. Oh, sorry. Turn that off. So it works. I will draw a circle and then put lines, usually 8 kind of pie pieces, and I'll put in them like social, financial, business, creative, fun, physical. I don't know what else, but so I have all those things, and then during the day I'm thinking, have I done anything physical today? Or as I'm going in the beginning of the day and making all of my lists of things, I'll say, okay, I want to do a lot of these things today. Maybe I don't have time for the social part. Maybe I don't have time today to go visit a friend or, call my mom, but I think about all of those things and think, okay, I want to do all these things, even though today maybe I can't do everything.
I like that. I like your pointing out that, sometimes we're seasonally imbalanced. It's a myth that you spend equal time in each area of your life every
Right?
single day. That's just not going to happen. But I like your pointing out that you still have awareness of all of those areas so that nothing gets neglected. Because if you neglect any of those areas for very long, then they come calling. You might have an illness or a divorce or, some kind of other
Uh-huh.
something much more traumatic that takes a lot of your time if you
Mm,
neglect any of those areas very long.
yeah.
But not stressing yourself out as far as having to spend equal time in each of those areas, but determining what's most important right now. And, a new baby is really important, but keeping everything in balance. And when you have a creative business or anyone that is their own boss,
Mhm.
it's nice, I think. For me, I am my own boss. When I have external deadlines, that helps me
Oh,
focus
yeah.
on my business and maybe not let other things distract me so much. I know for you, you will get a bid for a particular building that needs this particular stained glass or different artwork for a
Mhm.
deadline, and or someone's home or different things that's external to you, so that you can set those deadlines for yourself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's for sure. Yeah, I had a walkthrough this morning, and the bid has to be done by 5 o'clock this evening.
Hmm.
So yeah, there are things, that happens, and you have to pay attention to them. You can't ignore them.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because sometimes we can get pulled into this trap of being busy. And so we feel like we're being productive. But if it's not on the things that you've determined are most important, that's driving towards something that's of value to you, then at the end of the week, you feel frustrated that you feel like you didn't move forward in your business or in a different area of your life.
Yeah, even at the end of the day, that can happen, and then you think, oh, I should have done these and these things. And so then you can't sleep because all those things are rattling around in your brain.
Right. Yeah. That self talk, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, the only thing you can do is learn from it, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's what we're all about is learning from our day to day and learning from each other and learning from Jeannie today, who's been successful with a creative business and is not easy to do,
Mhm.
but it's taken the decision to go all in. And I also like, she has this passion. So this business, just in talking with her today, came about almost by accident, but it was fueled by hers and her husband's passion for this business. And so it grew. So, what you have a passion for, you can get into that flow, and people are drawn to it. They were drawn to her wondering, hey, what are you doing? And, how can I also do this? Right.
Yeah. And I don't think that we do it all alone. And I have to just point out that Pamela and we meet each other once a week, and we're kind of this accountability partners for each other. And I think that helps so much because you think you've got a list, but you think, I'm going to meet on Friday. And so what am I going to talk about? What am I going to say that I accomplished? And sure, you can say that to yourself, but it's so easy. I have an eraser. And so if I don't get something done, I can erase it and put it on the next day. It's okay. But when you've got somebody counting on you for something, I think that stewardship is very helpful. And some people have a mastermind group that they meet with that is just very helpful, to throw out ideas and to encourage one another. And I just love that idea. We're social animals, and it's just fun to get together and to share what we're doing. And sometimes if you share it, then you're more responsible for the outcome.
Such a good point. Such a good point. Yeah, especially if you are your own boss. It can't, you're kind of acting in a vacuum a little bit, so it's nice to have that external input as well as that external accountability to help keep you on target.
Mhm.
And yeah, super helpful, super helpful. So tell me, maybe one of your biggest challenges and how you overcame it.
Ooh, good question. You seem to have little challenges.
And it doesn't have to be your biggest challenge. I
Oh,
guess I should say,
okay.
what's a challenge you've had and how did you overcome it?
Okay. Well, I think when David became sick, it was difficult because I thought I can't do this all by myself. And so I really needed him. And so what happened eventually when he started feeling better is that we kind of separated our chores kind of, and he does he's the video and computer guy. And so he takes care of our YouTube videos and our Etsy account. And so I don't have to worry about those things. And then I'll go out and teach the classes and build the windows and stuff. And so he doesn't have to worry about that unless I say, David, you got to come out here and help me right now. And so he will do that. And so I think that is a helpful thing, is to kind of share the chores and stuff. And that has helped me through challenges, because hey, everybody gets overwhelmed. Everybody gets to the point where you just think, I can't do it, there's too much. So I can it's okay to ask for help. I guess that's what I'm getting at. It's okay to ask somebody for help when you're to that point.
And it's necessary. I think, a lot of times we hold ourselves back because we're trying to do it all ourselves. But when you can kind of divide and conquer, or, share something with someone else that can take a little bit of that burden off your shoulders, or a little different aspect of your business, or maybe it's something in your personal life that somebody else can take care of, like maybe yeah, assign somebody else to make dinner, or have somebody else help clean the house, or something that just takes a little bit of that pressure off of you.
That's right. And to coordinate with other people who might be able to do that thing a little better than you. I don't know how to do framing, but my son-in-law does. And so when I have someone who says, well, can you put my stained glass in a frame? Well, I don't have to freak out and think, I don't know how to do that. Then I have somebody to call that can take care of that part of it. And I
So
think,
true.
if you have a printer that can do a certain amount, and you have maybe a videographer who can do part of your, challenges. And so, just to ask for help, knowing, well, and that's a good thing to do too, is to reach out to people and find out what their strengths are. And so, you think, oh, I remember talking to that fellow, and he did, this is certain thing. He knows about apps, or he knows, something that I don't know. And so to be able to collaborate with people like that is, well, it's fun too. But also it helps to take away some of the pressure that you have when you're trying to do too many things.
I like that. So you just kind of play to your strengths and allow other people to play to their strengths and help you.
Right.
So very good. And not necessarily easy to do. It's not necessarily easy to find that help, but worth the effort to do that, to free up your time and your energy to focus on your strengths.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, awesome. I am so excited to have had this time together. The time just always flies by so quickly. And it was wonderful to talk with Jeannie today and to share her words of wisdom.
Mm.
And just as a reminder that we have a giveaway from our sponsor, Card Salad. So you need to go to habitsforhuman.com, and there you can sign up for a free 7-day Eat Real Foods challenge. You get 7 days of recipes done for you, shopping list, and meal planning done for you this week. And also, our second sponsor is the Success Choice. Do you want to start implementing positive habits right away? The Success Choice Planner and the Success Choice Challenge Workshop are the perfect tools. You can save 15% today at thesuccesschoice.com with the coupon code Habits for Humans. These details are in the show notes, as well as Jeannie is being so generous to give away a report on 5 things to help a creative business to thrive. So that link will also be in the show notes. And thank you so much for joining us, Jeannie. I'm excited to have had you on the show.
Thank you.
And thank you to our listeners. This is Habits for Humans. And remember again to check our show notes to get all of your free gifts. And thank you in advance for your positive review. Have a wonderful day.